On the Newshour exclusive, Indira Jaisingh, good evening, Additional Solicitor General of India. Now, can this whole affair be described as an internal matter and washed away? Tarun Tejpal goes on a 6-month sabbatical. What do you think, Indira Jaisingh, of the manner in which this has been dealt with?
First, let me say very clearly, nothing is an internal affair. You know very well that we are currently facing an allegation of sexual assault by an intern against a Supreme Court judge.
Yes.
I don't think that is an internal affair either. So I'm very clear in my mind it's not an internal affair. What I think needs to be done is that the organization itself needs to set up a committee with an outsider member on it, and an account of the truth be put on record.
Right. I understand that, but now when one looks at what falls under the definition of rape, and I do not want to go into details of this particular incident, it's gruesome. Indira Jaisingh, you know about it. It's so gruesome, I don't want to describe it, but having read what that young lady who was sexually assaulted by Tarun Tejpal says, this appears to be a case of rape. I mean, if you were to apply the provisions of rape, if this incident is true, then it is attempted rape, an attempt at rape, or in fact rape itself. So, how can you just leave an internal committee to handle a case like this, which is not being dealt with as a case of rape in the first place by Tehelka management?
You're right, Arnab. If one looks at the amended definition of rape in 2013, but first, before I say this, let me say no one has a right to put details of the incident in the public domain. It goes contrary to all that we've been saying so far, that the aggrieved person has a right to privacy, and we are not interested in treating this as a piece of salacious gossip. So I must condemn the effort to put all this in the public domain. But having said that, you are right. There is a case of rape under the newly amended definition in 2013. And so, as the Goa police have told you, they have registered a preliminary inquiry. But quite apart from all that, there are many other questions to be answered. And one of them, as we already said, is the whole idea of having... These are, parallel processes that take place. I'm not suggesting one is to the exclusion of the other. But the committee is a must, because the truth has to be placed on record. And then the question you raised, what about the question of punishment? Well, punishment is also of two kinds. One is under the criminal law, but the other, and very importantly, is the question of imposing exemplary costs, either on the person responsible or on the organization for an incident of this kind.
No, but the question here is of the manner in which it has been dealt with. So the question comes, what did this organization knew? Now Shoma Chaudhury is more angry that the emails were leaked, and I think that was appalling when she asked reporters here today. She says, "What's your problem?" If the complaint is not being made by the girl in this case, what's your problem? She's asking the media. My question to you is, in this case, we need to answer a few basic questions. Was this matter reported forthwith? Did the management of the magazine have a responsibility to report it forthwith? Why was there no FIR that was launched, no criminal investigation that was launched? Who were the people who were in the know? What action did they take? Did Shoma Chaudhury know about it? What action did she take? Now, Ms. Jaisingh, since these questions remain in the public domain, and we always say let there be independent investigations, this magazine has not dealt with this case in a professional manner. So what to all the viewers who say we don't trust them to do the internal inquiry, we want an external inquiry, a criminal investigation done by somebody else?
Okay. Well, a criminal investigation is always by somebody else, isn't it? It is never an internal investigation. Let's be clear about that. So now let's come to the issue of the criminal investigation. Your questions are very valid, Arnab. The first question is, did they report? The obvious answer seems to be no. And when you say report, you mean report to the police. When it came to their knowledge that an incident of this kind has taken place, the obvious answer is there is a duty to report. But you have to be clear that there are no less than 3 parallel processes required by the law to take place. One is a criminal process. The other is the process of setting up a committee It may be by an outside people on it. It may be include insiders. That's a different issue. But I want to tell you one more thing. Under the law, an organization can also be held responsible for its failure of due diligence. Not having a policy in place, not reporting on time, and the organization can also be made to pay financially for what has happened. So please, there are separate issues. It's not just a question of criminal law.
Well, you know, the magazine cannot downplay the incident, and just because the woman journalist in this case does not file a criminal complaint, the matter cannot end there. The suggestion seems to be that let's try and close the matter there.
Look, okay. It is very important to bring up the issue of exemplary costs. In a recent judgment of the Supreme Court on the issue of medical negligence, the Supreme Court awarded some 9 to 10 crores of rupees to the person who lost his wife. You know, we have been saying in India, we need to develop this whole jurisprudence of payment of costs where it hurts.
Ms. Jaisingh,
you know,
Ms. Jaisingh, while I appreciate the point and the very context you are saying there, I strongly believe, with the utmost respect, that an attempt at rape on a woman cannot be paid for.
Yes,
and also, by the way, Ms. Jaisingh,
No.
I think this utter and total hypocrisy of Tarun Tejpal and the support he seems to be getting from Shoma Chaudhury, that he's going to atone for it. I mean, if you have this is a strange situation, isn't it, Ms. Chaudhury, where you can't, Ms. Singh, it's a ridiculous situation where you let someone who is a rapist or an attempt tries to rape someone or a molester decide what his own punishment is going to be. Just because he's a high-profile person, he does not have that luxury, and nobody can give him that luxury.
No one has that luxury. No one can decide for themselves what the punishment is going to be. And if I may say so, I don't even consider this punishment.
Yeah, I'm glad you say so.
You are absolutely, you're right in saying, let's say it loud and clear. A crime has been committed.
Of course.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
A crime has been committed. Yeah. Now, as we want to discuss, what exactly is to be done now? It's obviously not enough that an apology has been tendered.
The one thing, the reason we're talking about it here is because I think, you know, the media must make it clear. The media can't try and cover it up. And you can't let Tarun Tejpal get away with his hypocritical arguments that I need to atone, I need to lacerate myself and write all that rubbish, when all he needs to do is actually face the law. Ms. Indira Jaisingh, thank you for joining us on this debate right now.